Pounders, Ep.2, the big board. We have some ADP movement. If you guys haven't already seen Underdogs, I believe it's called the Underdog Daily on YouTube. They went over it. Hayden as well as Josh Norris, Trey McBride, up from 114 open, all the way to 80. He still has room to go, and it doesn't really worry me too much. Like this movement, not that many teams have had this like huge advantage. Not enough to at least worry me. Um, Kelsey from 50 to 45, that one's kind of confusing to me. Like, you have a chance that Kelsey retires. I don't think we really need to be risking drafting Kelsey right now. That's my opinion. If he does, like, it's a long off season, first off. Is he just going to keep rising? I don't think so. And you could get news that, retirement's on the board. I think after Super Bowl, let's just hear what he has to say. Like, why? I think drafting him right now, I don't think there's a huge benefit. Drake London from 54 to 49. You're assuming he's going to have better quarterback play. Who's it going to be? We're not sure yet. So there is still some questions. I like him in that range, though. Not going to lie. I'm a little more comfortable drafting Bijan just because he's not going to be as reliant on the QB for players in Atlanta. And then JMO from 125 to 112. I kind of get it with Josh Reynolds being a free agent, but is JMO a true number 2? That's what kind of worries me. And they have Amon-Ra. They have Laporta. Laporta's going to be the number 2 no matter what. I don't love the rise there. Honestly, I'm getting some like Sky Moore vibes. Tank Dell from 45 to 36. It's starting to get expensive. I still like the Tank Dell ADP better than the Nico price. I think the Nico price is crazy. I'm not going to have any Nico this year if that's the case. And when I say that, I mean like 2% because the game we play is a game of spike weeks. If that player you don't draft, even if you don't like the value on them, if they have access to that high ceiling, you should have you should have some of them just due to it's basically we're playing a one game season in some respects. Zay Flowers up from 62 to 52. This one makes sense. I like Zay Flowers this year, even if they do add, and they probably will because this wide receiver room is so dust. He'll still be fine in his role. He's a spike week guy. He doesn't need a lot of catches to hit a pretty good game. So I don't think that changes much if they do add to Baltimore. Sam Laporta up from 44 to 37, and he still has room to go. He's now the first tight end off the board. So crazy. It's better than paying for Kelsey at 6 last year, and we all know how that went. That was a 2%er for me. Fellas, welcome to the live stream. Let's go. All the Pounders are in here early tonight. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you go down, slap the like on the live stream, hit the sub if you're enjoying the live stream. Rashee Rice up from 26 to 22. Now, it depends what side you're on, right? Do you think Kelsey's going to retire? Do you not think Kelsey's going to retire? He could rise from 22 like very easily. And he probably will because that second round's pretty gross. That second round's been absolutely ugly. Anthony Richardson. Now, this one's a risky pick just due to injuries. That's literally it. It's the only thing you're worried about. And guess what? The people that are worried about CMC getting injured last year, drafting wide receivers over him, look how that went. The receivers get hurt or the QBs get hurt and CMC smashes. So we're not trying to play that game of, who's going to get injured this year. Yeah. I mean, his injury history is not great. Doesn't have a good bill of health, but A-Rich going off the board is QB6. The upside's too high to not at least be at field average with him. Tell me about the Patriots helmet. Bought this back in 2015. Tom Brady signed a helmet. Probably my best stock I ever bought was a helmet, which is, Rashad White, down to 27 from 20. He probably still has room to go. Just an inefficient offense. I don't love him in that range at all. DK from 22 to 29. Now we're getting a little more fair in price of DK, especially if Lockett stays or leaves. Yeah, I think DK at 29 is okay. It's not a smash pick, but we're getting closer to his price last year. Who do we think this year's Puka is? Honestly, I haven't dipped into the rookies in that 200 ADP yet, but my God, we will eventually. And you kind of need more information on these guys. How they're going to test is going to be a testament to where they're going to get drafted, what round, and by what teams. That's going to matter the most. So obviously, Puka had a huge advantage of being on a team that was dry at the wide receiver position. You had Cooper Kupp, who's getting older. You had Van Jefferson to start the season, and we know how that went. And then he's battling against like 2-2. There's Tyler Higbee there at tight end. Like, it was just a really good situation for him. And then you have Stafford, who is just a beast. Stafford is a 1,000-yard wide receiver creator. Like, so it was a perfect situation for Puka, in my opinion. Facing Football Garage says, man, Justin Fields is falling. Obvious uncertainty who he'll be playing for. I mean, you have to think he's playing for someone, right? He's a starting QB still in the NFL. There are so many QB needy teams right now that as he falls, I'll still be sprinkling him in. And eventually we'll go over some teams where we think the landing spot is ideal and some of the spots that probably aren't. But either way, he has access to that rushing ceiling that there's probably not too many bad spots because when he's running for his life, he's putting up fantasy points. Cup is no spring chicken. I love that. I love that. As the season went on, though, like Puka was clearly like he getting the first look. I bet Jerry Rice kid and Christian McCaffrey's brother. That's wild. Yeah, I was looking at some film yesterday on Rice's kid. It's gonna be tough to tell. Really is. A lot of like the highlights I saw too. Like he's just it's not a bad thing. He's like completely open, but there's like defenders falling down, and you can tell it's not like top tier defense he's playing against. Um, yeah, Stevenson down from 53 to 64. He probably still has room to go. Coach change. We don't know. Even if Zeke is gone, we don't know what's going to happen in the draft. And obviously, this offense, bottom 3 offense last year. Alvin Kamara, 43 to 51. This one I definitely agree with. Give me Kendry Miller right now in the 160s. We are going back to the well again this year on Kendry Miller until it hits. And here it is, Fields from 58 to 66, so he's dropping. In the last few, Eckler from 47 to 59, Derrick Henry 51 to that 59 range too. I completely agree with what Hayden said and Josh about Derrick Henry just having a better access to a higher ceiling when he goes to a team because he's coming in when he gets brought in from wherever he lands. He's going to be the goal line guy. He's going to be the touchdown guy. So Calvin Ridley from 71 to 65. I like Ridley. He's probably going to end up a Jag again this season. And again, like Kirk's price is nice as well. But yeah, he's probably still got some room to move if he were to go up, if you believe that he had the chance to score 4 or 5 more touchdowns. And he did. He was right on the brink where it's like he was stepping out of bounds by a few inches. It happened several times. But did he make out on any of those too? It's tough to tell. Like touchdowns, really tough to predict. But he is pulling those targets though in the red zone. Top tier. J.K. Dobbins from 240 to 215, obviously drastic knee injury. Or no, it was Achilles injury. So are running backs ever the same after that? History's not on JK's side. Man, I do want him to succeed though. It's low risk at that pick, like 215. That's fine. You're seeing people reach for him still around like 190. You're seeing him go. So keep that in mind if you're looking for J.K. Dobbins. Brock Bowers, rookie tight end, he's up a few spots. And Malik Neighbors, he's up a few spots. We'll see where they go in this draft. But Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison, I'd rather Malik Neighbors right now at his price. Just a few rounds, right? It's 2 rounds, just about. I'd rather Neighbors right now. There's uncertainty, right, with landing spot. You tell me, like, Marvin Harrison Jr. goes to the Patriots. Like, where do we rank him, right? Where do you rank Marvin Harrison Jr. if he lands in New England? It's not pretty. It's not he's not gonna rise. That is a guarantee. That is a guarantee. So, until I get that information, I'm probably just going to be taking players like Devontae Adams, not Diggs, Devontae Adams, Olave, Pittman. I think that's maybe, like, the brink. I'd probably go Marvin Harrison Jr. over Pittman, to be honest. But Olave, Devontae Adams, so a couple receivers until we get more information. That's sort of where I'm at with them. But let's jump into our second big board. Not a slow draft. Get out of here with them slows. Waiting on 6 people. Nick, welcome to the live stream. Co-host is in the chat. Yeah, you're Demario Douglas. Already? How many shares? How many shares? Charles says, so glad to be back in draft season. We never left. We really haven't. Which honestly gives us, you guys, the people who have not tuned out, an advantage. Really does. And the advantage gets even bigger when you have the people coming back for Bestball Mania. Everyone sees 3 million, and we'll see maybe it's 4 million this year. It'll be 4 milli. King of Kings in the 1 spot, Pounder. 5 spot, 6 spot, Bez G, 7, 8. Oh my God. This will be a fun one. So this will actually give a pretty good it'll be good competition. So we'll see where these guys fall in ADP. If I didn't mention your name, let me know if you snuck in here with us. David, this name looks familiar, but I'm not 100% certain. I don't recognize those two. For me, CeeDee Lamb has the 2 spot. Hill, I'd probably go Jefferson, then Hill, then Chase. Hill's between here. Give us CeeDee Lamb at 4. Oh. All right, we'll go JJ. We'll go JJ. Yeah, Connor's here at the 8 spot. Let's go. Ben's here at 7. Josh here in the 5. Brees Hall at 6. It's pretty standard. Amon-Ra at 7. And then it starts to get tricky. Like this spot, I do think you have a tier drop off no matter where you go. And for me, it is Bijan at 8. And then I'm going probably Garrett Wilson at 9. Gibbs goes off the board at 10. Followed by Garrett Wilson. Kyron falls to 12. Let's see what this guy does at the 12 spot. Goes Nico. My God, man. Oh, and DJ Moore. Like those are 2 guys that I'm glad are off the board right now. I'm not going to lie. I can't get behind it. I can't get behind it. I think both of these ADPs, like Nico should probably be somewhere in the mid-20s. DJ Moore should be right around there. I do think they should go next to each other, but early second, I can't. I can't right now. I do think we'll get a better price on them later in the offseason. Like, do they really have room to move up? Like, this has to be drafting them at their ceiling, which honestly, this early in the offseason doesn't feel good. So Kyron slipping, Kyron slipping. Fantasy Football Garage, talk about some golf streets. You guys are all degens. All degens. Ben brings in Kyron at 18. See, that's yes. Yes. That's where I'd go, Kyron. Josh Allen ADP's gotta fall. He can't be going at 18 and then the next best QB going off the board at 33, 35. I like both of these clicks. Full year under his belt in the KC offense. Rashee Rice here seems okay. Barkley, we have some unknowns. I'm gonna bring in Rice here. See what we get in 6 picks. A little double wide receiver start. Uh, I'd probably rather this start though with Jamar and Debo. Logan's up in the streets. What's going on, man? Welcome to the live stream. I should say welcome back. Crazy how early we're starting this year. Still catching up on a lot of the rookies right now, but we got some names. We got a few names. If everyone saw Nick's post in Discord sharing his Twitter profile page, you could find some good stuff on there. There's a nugget. There's a nugget in the description. Oh, here we go. He's probably gonna he'll let us take him, right? Honestly, Pacheco here or ETN. I'd have ETN over Rashad White right now. Yep. Let's do it. We'll go 3 wide receiver start, and we'll see if we can make it work with running backs, which is sort of tough, especially this time of year. Not at least getting that number 1 guy, but I feel pretty confident we can zig and zag into the values. It's probably going to end up being a 3 QB, 3 tight end team, just the way I'm drafting, and if I'm not able to hit this tier of McBride, Kincaid, Ingram, Njoku, even with them being like my first tight end, you still want 3 in a 20-round draft. Tank Dell off the board at 32. Laporta goes off the board at 31. We'll double Detroit. TK at 33. Sweet. Early second round is garbage. I 100% agree, Connor. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Especially when you bring the early second round into the first round. Connor, were you the one that posted the splits on Tank Dell and Nico when they're both on the field and how it's like relatively even, if not Tank having like the advantage? And I know when they were both playing, Tank was pulling the first look target a majority of the time. And that was about midway into the season after Nico started to take a dip in production. So I still like Nico, but he should be back here. I think we will see that eventually. I think CJ Stroud, you're paying a huge premium right now too. 37 is obviously early for him, but 53, it feels like Trevor Lawrence from last year, like that ADP, and not having access to like a huge rushing upside, right? Like I'd probably just rather take the gamble on A Rich. But I don't think the ADP is going like, I don't think it's going down, so unfortunately gonna have to buy into the price because we're gonna want some shares. T. Higgins off the board at 42. I like this team. Ben's crushing it right now. Say Flowers. I love that. Damn. You guys are building some monsters. Rashad White at 45. Yeah. We'd probably take Rashad White at 45 as our first running back. We'll fall on the sword here for Rashad White. Honestly, like 45 is fair. Like right before this tier. Like I'm going Rashad White over Kamara. So like sure, if you're higher on James Cook than Rashad White, that's completely fine. Like I get it. But that's really it. So I think that's a fair price to click him there. I was hoping you stack Pacheco with Rice and let Marvin drop one more. That was you know, it's a good bet. Good bet to make for you. But I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Like usually I'm seeing him go off at like 18, 17, 18 in different draft rooms. People are posting. So 28 feels okay. We'll bring in James Cook here too. And we'll just scoop. It does get a little muddy in this area. We can go double Minnesota. We don't know who the QB is going to be. So maybe we bring in some rookies. Where's our next pick? Our next pick's at 69. Tight ends. We'll double up in Minnesota. This way, I can sort of guarantee myself a tight end that I like if I want to go that route here. There's not a lot of wide receivers left, right? So if we come to our next pick and Christian Kirk isn't there, you could go if you needed a receiver, you could go Godwin. You could reach up from 69 for Godwin. I think that's completely fine. We already have our one running back, which is like, you're just hoping that he gets the same workload basically. And then this range is nice. Like there are some mines that you can fall on 100% in this range. But if you can navigate this range, which we're going to do, this is where we're going to find a huge advantage right now in this time of year. And if there weren't 5-pounders in this draft, we'd be able to go over those before it happens. But now we have to wait. Calvin Ridley off the board at 56. Yeah, so this is telling me Kirk is probably won't be there at 69. We'll see. Noah, welcome to the live stream. Says your wide receiver is so hot. Almost as hot as you in those hockey streets. You've been cashing multiple sports though, right? In the dailies. I've seen you, man. I've seen you on Twitter. Crushing. Terry McLaurin off the board at 59. Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of Terry at this price. George Pickens, 61. I think George Pickens is fine too. Like he's a spike week guy. Are you really going to project for worse quarterback play? That would be difficult. Jalen Hurts and A-Rich, that's a hot combo. Derrick Henry off the board. ER7, yeah, thank you, man. Says drop a like. Let's go bigger this year. Tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your pet neighbor, your pet lizard, your neighbor. Oh, God. Stevenson off the board, finally 64. I'm a Pats fan, and I still don't like the price. Kind of feels like dead zone back to me. Damn it. Damn it, Ben. Stop doing that. Trey McBride gone. Definitely was gonna be our target in this range. One of these 3 would be fine. Kirk's gone. So I am glad we went receiver here. This is the last person I wanted, to be honest. Let's have a peek here. Like, it's clearly Kittle at tight end, like, next best available. I do like this range too. It's just who would I go instead of? Like, Tony Pollard doesn't excite me, to be honest. We're just gonna go Kittle. We're going Kittle for the access to the ceiling, I guess, for spike week, individual spike week, week 17. That's what we're telling ourselves. Tony Pollard's fine in this range. I think Montgomery goes a little early. Yeah, ER7, who's Tony Pollard. It's not exciting. Like, this came at, like, 9 points a game. Honestly, you could double tap tight end in this range. Prescott's not a bad pick, especially if you have Lamb. Even if you don't, you could go Prescott and you can go Jake Fergie. We would have to most likely reach on Fergie, but we'll see if he comes back at 93. Just something to note if you don't have Lamb and you want to go QB here instead. We'll see if he's trending up or down in this one room. Yeah, this range is pretty gross, not gonna lie. Najee's fine, which is gross. Let's go our second tight end. Ingram's gonna open us up for Trevor Lawrence too. So now we're not going another tight end until round 16 to 20. Like, we're just basically ignoring tight end. We'll bring in a last round guy because that's a good amount of capital right there. That's a good amount of capital. Justin Herbert, I kind of have a hard time with this price at 78. I'd probably rather Burrow by a long shot. And then Kyler feels like a fair price. Brock Purdy feels like a fair price, maybe a little expensive. Trevor Lawrence just seems like a good value this year too. At that price, I want to be buying the dip on the players that are going to have better seasons. Staffy's price is definitely fair, right? 130. That feels good, in my opinion. All right, let's see if we got our guy to come back to us here. We're still rocking the one running back. So we took a risk. We'll see if we get punished or not. But 0 RB has been so strong the last few years that not worried about it. Especially we're going to be strong at tight end. We'll be strong at wide receiver. We're going to need to go 3 QBs, and we'll figure that out. Yeah, you could. Noah says, would you debate 2 tight ends here? With 20 rounds, it's easier to do 3, but not sure it's worth the third one. It depends who you're picking in the third round, right? This dude's got 4 running backs. Has this guy been on? Has he been on auto? Nope. This is before ADP. You can, but like Kittle has those games where he's just like blocking tight end, not involved in the passing game. Tight ends are just easy, almost guaranteed production Like Hunter Henry, our guy last year, where we had like 32% Hunter Henry in round 20. Trey McBride, another one where we had like 27% Trey McBride. You're going to get guaranteed points because they're going to be on the field. Whereas who else are we going to be clicking? Are we going to be clicking a random rookie where we don't know how he's going to test? We don't know. Damn, did we get punished? Najee and Brian Robinson both gone. Wanted one of the two of those. So we'll see what we do now. Now, let's see what happens. Cortland Sutton. We might just stay on this wide receiver train. Or we can go double. Fuck. We'll go Purdy here. We'll bring in our first QB. But yeah, I'm not a like I would rather go 3 tight ends in a 20 round draft. If this is 18 rounds, I'm sticking with these two like guaranteed. Guaranteed. But with a 20 round draft, it really just depends who we're looking at the end there. Like you can get Knox right now. Noah Gray, maybe no Kelsey. Logan Thomas, we'll see if he's playing this year. That's someone like I wouldn't risk it on. Jelani Woods, he was on IR all season last year. I don't love that click. So we'll see what happens. I think people are getting smarter. I think the field is getting smarter with this, with tight ends that go late. So maybe it's not a 20th round guy, but maybe it's we add a 19th. All right, it's almost our pick. We can still get Jacoby here. Where's the Ridley team? Ridley. It's Connor. We're just going to go get our 2 QBs. We're just going to get our 2 QBs here. Now it's running backs and wide receivers for us for a while. And then we can still add, like we can still bring in a rookie. We could still bring in Kirk Cousins if you think he's going to be the QB of Minnesota. 138 seems a little pricey. Seems a little pricey right now with the unknown. Just so many people are bringing, and I already know, like so many people are worried about the QB injuries from last year, and they're already using that information to project next year. So they're going a lot of 4, like seeing multiple teams go with like 4 QB teams. Hopefully no one in this room, although it would start to benefit us if more QBs go off the board because we have our 2 guys. Like you can get away with just these 2 QBs. Like I'd be comfortable with that. But do we bring in a rookie, maybe lands in Minnesota? Kyler off the board at 103. Jacoby Myers went at 102. Yeah, so we got a hero running back build here, built around Breece Hall. Lamar, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews. Beautiful. Oh, man. I'm in love with this team, too. Josh with Jamar, Debo, Isaiah Pacheco, Malik Neighbors, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Tajay Spears, Cortland Sutton, and TJ Hawkinson. I don't think I can swallow the price right now on Tajay because I don't feel he's a 3-down back. So even if Derrick Henry moves on, obviously this team's not moving the ball too well as it is. Just seems like a high price. Like you have Tajay at 77, and I don't know, I'd probably just rather Brian Robinson Jr. over him and Najee. Ooh, Caleb goes early. So we can bring in Chase Brown here at 117. Did Curtis Samuel go off the board? Not that I'm going Curtis Samuel here. Just want to see. So 157. I was watching Liam stream earlier, and he's obviously a big Buffalo guy. And he said there are some ties from the coaches in Buffalo to Curtis Samuel. So could mean something, could mean nothing. But would you rather, if Gabe Davis moves on from Buffalo, would you rather Khalil Shakur or Curtis Samuel if Curtis Samuel were to land in Buffalo? Let me know in the chat, Shakir or Curtis Samuel, if they're both on Buffalo and Gabe Davis were to move on. I like both these clicks. Damn, boy, he just punished us. This is a nice quad too. He just punished us. Ty Chandler here feels kind of gross. We're already making such a heavy bet on Minnesota not being a crap team that it does sort of make sense. I don't love Blake Corum's profile. We'll see how he tests. I don't expect him to blow the doors off the 40. So you might get a nice fall price after the combine. All right, we're up in 15. Now this wide receiver room is looking a little shoddy, so we have to catch up at receiver. We got some nice picks in here, though. Punishing when you're drafting with the Pounders, especially when they've been in these streets for the last few days, probably nonstop. Fingers are bleeding, thumbs are cramping. Wabi, welcome back, man. What's going on? Nick going Shakir. Yeah, Josh says Curtis Samuel. Bestball Brian, Curtis Samuel. Connor says Curtis Samuel by a considerable amount. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. I like both of these clicks right now. Nick, co-host I was on the other day, Samir White and Jerome Ford, both good shouts, but both need shit to go their way in the offseason. Same thing with Ty Chandler. Like all three of them need shit to go their way in the offseason. It is interesting that we're starting the year off with Rashawn Johnson in front of Khalil Herbert. Is that 121 and 135? All these rookies that were high on last year, like just on the verge of, having the opportunity, and, after that, it's all up to them. But Rashawn Johnson, like getting a 2-game concussion right when Khalil Herbert goes down, and then Dante Foreman comes in, crushes every game he plays in. I think it was just an unlucky timing for Rashawn last season. I do like him at this price. Like I'm going to be on Rashawn. No one's really going rogue yet. This guy was going rogue with the running backs, but he slowed down. We definitely have a true zero running back build going on. I think the benefit to Ty Chandler here is, yeah, they likely have to add running back depth, but Ty Chandler's better than Madison. So at least he'll be the number 2 on the team if they were to add someone to it. And then is this team in just rebuild mode, right? Do they move on from Kirk Cousins and they just try to rebuild? And at that point, you don't need to pay a running back. This is probably Wandell here. Let's see. Did Ladd go? Someone draft my boy? Nope. He should still be there. All right. We're between these two. Let's go Curtis Samuel first. I don't know if there's a worse landing spot for him than the team he was on last year. Curtis Samuel. I do think we need a double tap receiver here. Because it gets ugly. I like this dude's profile. I didn't get to all of these rookies, but I actually have a excuse me, I have a nice little sleeper at the end for our team. Scrolling just to see where his ADP is. All right, we're safe. It's far. It's far. It's far down. It's far down the board. Give us Wandell here. I wouldn't be mad if Wandell goes. I'd probably just go running back. He goes Waller. We have a 2-3-5-2. It's like this could be a huge mistake if I were to go one or the other. I like Wandell though. Fair price. I mean, you think about where he started last year when contests open. He started at 120 after serious injury. Like now you get him like 150. Fair price. I'm gonna have limited Mingo this year. If they can shore up their O line, does Mingo just need more time? Does Bryce Young need more time to get the ball to Mingo? So I am curious because it really is hard to test and just go off of what Carolina did last year. Miles Sanders bust, like O-line was like Swiss cheese. Holy as a priest. Like it was bad. It was bad. I still don't love Mingo. I didn't like him last year. So I still don't like it. I really don't. I'm trying to talk my way into it and I can't. Like, can this be an okay pick? If AJ Dillon, who's a free agent, probably gets unlucky with the touchdowns. He had a couple spike weeks. Yeah, Kendra was we were between Kendra and Wandell for our pick. This 0 RB build's gonna be gross. I guess it's sort of modified 0 RB. K. Dotton going at 157 seems a little rich. Seems a little rich. Yeah, this isn't a bad thing though. If he goes to, let's say Kelsey retires and like they bring in Fant for cheap because he didn't have a big year. I don't know. There's probably some good landing spots for Fant. Chargers would be a cheap one. A bad one would be like Carolina. Nick says Zamir White proved he can be a lead back when Jacobs was out with injury, but he's obviously not as sexy as all the free agents or even Jacobs. Yeah. Zamir White's got that dog in him. He's got that dog in him. So much is going to change. But the early drafting's fun. David bringing in 3 QBs here. 3 in a row, Goff, Stafford, and Drake May. That's fine. It's not like it's not going to wow anyone, but serviceable. Jono's got Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Tua. That's definitely a good amount of capital. This happened late into the season. He's gonna fall. That's my initial like, I like the player, but I think he's gotta fall. I think it has to be Algier here. 0 RB build, sorta. Bijan goes down, like, this is huge. This is like a cheap Elijah Mitchell, but he's gonna get more touches than Elijah Mitchell. Hmm. Michael Mayer price is okay. Again, rookie season under his belt. I think this price is fine for Mayer. I don't know if I'd go Mayer over Henry, though. I don't know if I could do it. 6 tutties. 6 tutties from your boy. Juwan Johnson picks it up at the very end of the season. That made me so mad. Like, is Jimmy Graham back? Is Jimmy Graham gonna play football this year? It felt like he stole, like, 12 touchdowns. That's the way it felt. And then Taysom Hill. It was rough sledding for, Juwan this season. Daniel Jones, I mean, 173. I know Nick hates it, and he's a Giants fan, but, like, 173 feels like the right amount of risk reward. If we were gonna go 3 QBs, that's probably where we'd go. Tucker Kraft off the board? Like this kid, Jalen Hyatt. Can we get both? Can we get Hyatt at 189? Probably not. If we think Trevor Lawrence is a good value, we could just stop at 2 as well. We'll bring in Jones here. I think there's the right amount of risk reward there. At pick 172. Wait, what do you mean? Is the color position bar along the top new? Just noticed it yesterday. Talk about, like, the thing that says Underdog Fantasy and shit? Dennis, I'm gonna be dipping into send me, like, all your rookie questions, just send them to me on Twitter, and I'll dive in after hours. Hates Daniel Jones. Dude, he had no help, though. The O-line was terrible. It was like Carolina's O-line. It was bad. Um, I mean, we saw who Daniel Jones is with Saquon and without Saquon. Like, that sorta scares me because 'cause you're not expecting them to pay Saquon, right? Like, Saquon's gone. Hyatt's gone. Tyler Boyd, like, this actually seems like a fair price for Tyler Boyd. Antonio Gibson was someone that was on our list for down here for running backs. All right. What are we doing here, fellas? Ooh, rookie off the board. Marshawn Lloyd. Quick, look him up. 3.462. We might have to stop at 2 tight ends. Let's see. I do like a couple of the guys in this range. Gainwell off the board. I don't think Gainwell's a terrible click this year. Ah, so close. Damn. Bringing in 4 rookie receivers, but with Chase and Samuel, Sutton, Davis. That's fine. We'll join the Ray Davis fan club, Nick. We'll join the Ray Davis fan club. I have to remember my sleeper. How many rounds we got left? We got 4 picks left. We'll probably go my dude at 220, I would think. He should be safe at 220. So this is going to end up 3, 6, 7, just 7 receivers. We'll see who the 7th receiver is. I'd be fine with just 7 though. Like I actually like this room. Cue the highlight video, please, he says. Josh Reynolds, free agent this season. Is he like my worry is that like this was his ceiling though. I feel like there's more bad landing spots than there are good. King of Kings bringing in Bigsby and Fant. Demarcus Robinson. Oh my God, this dude's got 100 receivers. This dude's fantasy newbie. Noob. Oh my God, I can't read. So literal. I just read that so literal, like a simpleton. All right. Tyler Boyd. If I don't love it still. I still don't love it. Bringing a sleeper running back. Adam, welcome to the live stream, man. I knew you would show. Because I'm late, but I'm here. What's going on, man? The Israel Abanikanda dream again? Just kidding. All right. There we are for our running back room. White, Chase Brown, Ty Chandler, Tyler Algier, Ray Davis, and Jalen Wright. It's ugly, but it's just ugly enough that it could work. Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones, at tight end, Kittle and Ingram, receiver, Jefferson, Rice, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jordan Addison, and Curtis Samuel, Wan'Dale Robinson. We're going to bring in one running back. Let's see who's there at tight end because it's getting thin. We're going to bring in at least one receiver. And we can go, this can be 1-1-1, or it can be 2 receivers and 1 tight end. That's sort of the way I feel about it. Probably should go 1 more running back, though. Should probably go 1 more running back. We desperately need another running back. AJ Dillon off the board. Dude, at 203, AJ Dillon's not a bad click. There's no way anyone in the chat thinks AJ Dillon at 203 is just like a bad click. Now, his spike weeks, not high. Like he's not a spike week guy. But if you just need someone to help you push your lineup through on bye weeks or whatever it might be, can't tell me he's a bad click. Dalvin Cook is going undrafted, probably for good reason, though. Let me peek this. Just hopping in a low board if you want to join Adam. Said I sent in a good one in the draft grade section today. If you guys don't already know, in our Discord, we have a draft grade section. Post your teams. Make sure it doesn't look like 3572. Otherwise, you will be made fun of. No mercy. And then pick Madison. Stop. 3852. This is Madison Truther. We found them. It's a type. It's a type. That's funny. Oh, God. A.T. Perry's a good shout. Michael Thomas moving on. A.T. Perry's definitely a good shout. If he can make that step. Let's see. Tyler Boyd's still sitting around. I was kind of hoping someone would just select him, please. Oh, my God. At 213, though, I have to. Like, I have to. It's annoying, but I have to do it. It's annoying. I can't get everyone I want. I know I can't. Or can I? Let's peek. You know when you have someone that's, like, not going drafted? It's like, "Oh, can I push them to that spot of, like, they're in no man's land, and then someone just literally just snipes them out of midair?" I guess not. So my thought is this would be Knox. In a perfect world, this would be Knox, and this would be my sleeper pick. But there's too many pounders behind me with 2 picks. I just can't. Fuck. This man's crazy. 2, 3, 11, 1 build. Solo Kelsey. Yo, this is sick. This is sick. Knox ain't getting drafted, Nick says. Yeah, he is. He's getting drafted. He's got an ADP of 226. I shouldn't go Knox here. I'm not gonna go Knox here. Come on. Everyone but my dude. 1 pick to go. We'll bring in our double stack in Jacksonville with Parker Washington, second-year guy. Yeah, that feels good. All right, now we'll click. Running back or tight end? What do you guys want? Likely's not on the board still. There's no way. Dude, Likely's way gone. We're talking Likely went at 184. I wish Likely was here for this. I wasn't on him last season, which I think that was actually the right take because he ended up playing like 22% of snaps when Andrews was out there. Obviously, the upside is if Andrews gets hurt, it freaking happens. I think the right take was to not be clicking Likely, though, still. Making the bet for season-ending injuries for the player in front of him for success is, I mean, at the tight end position, it's not like it's a running back that's going to touch the ball 250, 300 times, where the likelihood of them getting hurt is much higher. So, I don't know. I take the L there, but I still think the take was right. No more receivers. We're done at receiver. I mean, for my second draft, we'll take it. We'll take it. Are people throwing out what's a Jatavion? Is that a Pokemon? Jatarvius? At this point, we just got names. We just got names down here. Fantasy Football Garage had a lot of Likely last year. Worked out, man. It worked out. Adam says Noah Gray for when Kelsey retires. Nick likes that click too. You got to do grades. Yeah. We'll go over this room 100%. Be humble, homie. Welcome to the live stream. Unfortunately, this is going to be probably the only one tonight, but we are going to go over everyone's team. Dude, this is hilarious. 27 catches, 4 tutties. This is so dust. I feel like this clicks dust. I do wish I knew some of these rookies down here, but this feels dusty. Not gonna lie. You're just doing it for like 4 touchdowns this year. Always hurt. Dawson Knox is always hurt. Although, like right now, this 20th round's like so gross. Zach Ertz. People clicking Zach Ertz still. There's no way, man. There's no way. All right, let's pull up everyone's squad. In the one spot, King of Kings, Pounder, Christian McCaffrey. Let's go over the running back. Let's go QB tight end. That's the way I sort of like to break it down. QBs, Deshaun Watson, Geno Smith, and Michael Penix. Um, Tight ends, you have Kincaid, Kyle Pitts, and Noah Fant. I like that group. Running backs, McCaffrey, Javonte, Rashawn, Charbonnet, Tank Bigsby. Let's pull it up here so we don't kill everyone's brain. I like the RB room. RB room's nice. Hero running back build. You bring in Javonte as your second running back. I think that's strong. QB might be a little weak, but receivers are stacked. Receivers are stacked. I'm not going to be high on Quentin Johnson this year, personally. But this room's still really nice. This room's really nice. Were you trying to get love with that double stack? Yeah, no, it's a balanced team. It's actually really, really well balanced. I think a little weak at QB. If you want to jump in a draft with Be Humble Homie, 6 spots left. We had the 4 spot, Purdy, Lawrence, Daniel Jones. At tight end, Kittle, Ingram, and Knox. Knox feels like a bad click, but 20th round's pretty gross. Rashad White, Chase Brown, Ty Chandler, Tyler Algier, Ray Davis, and Jalen Wright. At receiver, Justin Jefferson, Rashee Rice, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jordan Addison. I feel pretty good about it. Josh's squad, Caleb, Will Levis, and Bo Nix. Definitely thin at QB. Definitely thin at QB. Tight ends, Hawkinson, Musgrave, and Mayer. All right. Pacheco, Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Tajay Spears. I like the running back room. I like the RB room. Chase Debo, Malik Neighbors, Cortland Sutton, Gabe Davis, Ladd, Polk. I like a few of these guys. Malik Neighbors seems like a pretty sure thing. To me, he feels like a sure thing. Obviously, landing spot, shit like that. But he could rise. Like he could be a riser. So I do like him at this pick, 44 here. And then where I try to say draft 3 to 5 rookies. And if you're drafting 5, have players like, Malik Neighbor, rookies that are going to get work sooner, because we know it does take them a little while to find their role. QBs, I don't think it matters as much for Caleb, but you would like to see one veteran in the group. This is kind of worrisome, but I do like how he has Chase and Debo backing it. He has Neighbors, Cortland Sutton. We'll see what goes on there in Denver, and then Gabe Davis. I think it's fine. Hawkinson, Musgrave, and Mayer. Is Hawkinson going to fall more? I feel like as the offseason goes on, he's not back to practice on, the sooner end. He's not going to be. I think he's in jeopardy right now of missing multiple months to start the year. So on a team where you already have a lot of rookies that start slow, you might be giving up too many points in the early portion of the season. But I do like the idea behind this draft. Solo, welcome to the live stream, man. Let's go over Knox. Lamar and Kirk Cousins, getting Kirk at 163. Tight ends, Mark Andrews, Ben Sinnott, and Bell. Running backs. Again, hero running back build. He ends up with a 2.873 build. Pretty unique style. Breece Hall, Zamir White, Trey Benson, Jonathan Brooks, Rico Dowdle. I like this click. He goes 16 picks early. I think that was a sharp pick. Gainwell at 187, Dobbins, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. CH is a free agent this season, so we'll see where he lands. But, there's some good spots for running backs, right? So I feel like CH isn't the worst click this year. I like him better this year than the click at the end of the drafts last season. Devontae Adams, Zay Flowers, Christian Kirk, D Hop, Deontay Johnson, Jacoby Myers, and Han Dotson. Yeah, I like this. I like this wide receiver group. I think stopping a 7 there was pretty smart. You spent it at running back, and I think that's also smart for this build. It's a nice squad. It's a nice squad. Ben in the 7 spot with Burrow and Kyler, getting Burrow at 90. Laporta, McBride, nice. And Davis Allen, really nice tight end group. Running backs, Kyron at 18, David Montgomery, Jerome Ford, Jaleel McLaughlin, Zach Moss, Marshawn Lloyd, and Damian Pierce at 210. He probably should be going in 210. That's the crazy thing. That's it seems like a relatively balanced room. You have some risk, you have some reward in there. We'll see what happens with like Nick Chubb. Jerome Ford could be starting uh, for the early portion of the season, all the way till the mid. We'll see how Nick Chubb's recovery is going. Amon-Ra, T. Higgs, JSN, Josh Downs, Joshua Palmer, Demario Douglas, Roman Wilson, and Ricky Parcell. Yeah, I like it. I like the group. You know, he's mixing in rookies there, but nothing too wild. Copper prices in the 8 spot, Fields and Jaden Daniels. Henry, Everett, and Noah Gray. Definitely a little thin at tight end there, but maybe making a bet on Kelsey leaving and Noah Gray actually stepping into a majority of those snaps. Not going to say targets, but snaps. Bijan, Najee, Chuba, Blake Corum, Kendrick Miller. Yeah, I like this group. Where are you hoping Jamal to be? At the end of the day, you're hoping he stays in New Orleans? Because I do think he could be serviceable in some places. Like if he ends up in if he went to like Houston or something, just needs like a okay running back. But I think when you're bringing in Kendra and Jamal, you expect Jamal to move on. Diggs at 17, Tank Dell, Keenan Allen, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, Coleman, Corley, and Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne. I mean, it's not a bad click at the end of drafts. He's going in 20th round, so I like the team. So we see Godwin go here at 65, and this is that range of like where wide receivers really start to dry up right after Christian Kirk, in my opinion. This is where it starts to dry up, in my opinion. George Pickens is gone, Godwin's gone, and his ADP's I think like 69. Christian Kirk, and then you're really taking a shot on like D Hop. Christian Watson, I don't think's the worst click this season if he can get healthy. But ADP of 84. I've seen him fall in some people's drafts. So yeah, receiver definitely starts to fall off there though. So it says, who do you like more, Najee at his current ADP or Warren at his current ADP? I like Najee at his ADP. I'm completely fine with Najee there. He's gonna get the work, right? And 89 is just it's a fair price. It's a fair price. And running back falls off, in my opinion, after Brian Robinson and Najee are off the board. I think there's a huge tier break right now of just unknown. DeAndre Swift, you can add him to that pile, but I still think there's a tier break. Javonte, you can add them to like their own pile. And then there's another tier break, in my opinion. And it goes like Singletary, Jalen, Chuba, a lot of unknown guys, right? I do like Rashawn. I do like Zach Charbonnet. The double click here is just sick. Just sick. That's really nice. And then I think that's it for the Pounders in this one. Dudes, really do appreciate everyone coming out, supporting the live stream already. Like episode 2. You guys doing a great job. So I appreciate you coming out, hanging out with me. We'll I think 30. Yeah, pick 30. Lamar went, which seems fair for where Josh Allen's going to. So I do like Lamar this season. But guys, on the way out, if you enjoyed tonight's live stream, drop a sub and slap the like. Have a good night. Pounders.